Your phone's not well. Mind you.
It's going to load all my stuff on your computer.
Yeah, I've got all your pictures now. You do. Take a seat, my friends.
I had to bring the hat.
Yeah, of course, man. You're in full brand, Steve brand. Oh, mate, it's so good to see you, man. It's so good to see you. Have you enjoyed some of today's the stories and conversations?
Yeah. I went to Henry Hempstead and then made a beeline to get across for Jamie's bit because I thought I'd surprise him as he come on here.
Yeah.
And of course, he was sat here, wasn't he?
Oh, mate. Yeah, and I saw the comment. I was like, oh, no, man. Nightmare. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Awesome. Well, look, I really appreciate you coming on. I remember, I'm just going to put your mic on because there we go. That's better. Move that there a little bit. That's it. So I remember when we first met and you told me your story, and it was one of just shock, if I'm honest, my end. But then as I got to know you and I got to see how much tremendous energy you've taken from your story and delivered it towards positive change and outcomes, it's just been absolutely wonderful. And I think you're a massive inspiration. And Justin on earlier, obviously, bigging you up as well. You've got a lot of love from the community.
I have to say, Justin's bit sort of did lead to a tear. I think I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah,
everything's full on, but everything has to work. And yes, my story is sad.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to my story than just Will passing away. I've been bordered on being an alcoholic. I've bordered on being bust.
Yeah.
But every time someone knocks me down, I've been able to pick myself up and come back even stronger.
You're a stubborn bugger, aren't you?
I am a stubborn bugger. But I face up to my, things that get in the way are not going to remain in the way. I face up to them, I find a solution, and I get rid of them. And since February 2020, that's become even more apparent. 2020, for the listeners, unfortunately, my son William took his own life. He left a note saying that he had no money, he had no friends, and he had no worth. His life had no worth. It cost me more to bury him than it did. He had in debt. Friends, he could have filled up Cambridge Crematorium 3 times over. We had the West Chapel, which is the biggest chapel. We filled all the seats, we filled all the aisles, and they put the TVs outside as well for the people that were out there. Barry Fry was there, Darren Ferguson were there, all the Peterborough football squad was there. They all loved Will. They worshipped the ground he walked on. And how can someone get themselves into a state where their life, they feel with all that friendship out there, that their life has no worth? I had a decision to make with my life when Will was gone, because Will was my life. I've got an absolutely wonderful wife. Fiona is just the most phenomenal, most positive person.
Yeah, she's awesome, man.
And without her, I probably wouldn't be here now. But I had a choice to make, and that choice was I either go with him or I move forward and I live my life. I came to terms very quickly with Will's death. I knew he wasn't going to come back. The copper came in, he sat in my lounge. He told me there'd been a road accident and Will had been killed. Having asked me about defining features on his body, his tattoos and stuff. So I knew it was him. As much as I wanted to go to the mortuary the next day and it not be him, I knew it was. I told him off. in the soft fatherly way that I always told him
Mhm.
off, like I never told him off.
Yeah.
And I walked away from Cambridge Hospital, from Addenbrooke's Hospital, knowing that he wasn't going to come back. How I was going to feel long term, I didn't know. But one thing I was sure was he was going to get the send-off that his life deserved. He was a lad that would drop everything for a friend that needed a friend. He would drop everything. And there came a time where he needed somebody and he possibly didn't call for that somebody. And my life reflects on his life because he had relationship issues. I've been married 3 times. It's taken me 3 marriages to possibly find my soulmate. He had work issues. I'd had work issues in the past. And he believed he had money issues. And the only person in reality that could relate to all those issues he was having was his dad. And unfortunately, his dad wasn't aware of what was going on. His girlfriend was aware possibly that he was thinking about changing his job or he had work issues. His workmates knew he had relationship issues. I would always ask him, are you all right for money? Are you okay? But he was too proud. And unfortunately, he took his life. We gave him the send-off that he deserved. Then, of course, COVID hit. I was captain of the golf club as well as being a father that's lost his son. During COVID, I became aware of a guy at the golf club that was suffering in the same vein as well. He had tried to take his own life, and I befriended him. We played a few rounds of golf. I got to understand his emotions, where he was coming from. And eventually I got to ask him how he feels his family would feel and the people he left behind. And that got him thinking. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, his dad came up to me and said, I don't know what you did, but thank you so much. And that young guy now is in his first house with a bouncing baby boy, living the dream with his girlfriend who he proposed to just before Christmas.
Wow.
So, and that guy was the excuse for me to go on the walk and talk route.
Yeah.
Fiona and I were nursing her father,
Yeah.
who had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I'd seen this Walk and Talk for Men group advertised. So,
what did you think when you saw that? Obviously you were in a state of looking for something or looking for attachment.
Yeah. Well, I'd made an attachment with Black Cat Radio.
Yes.
And the reason I'm here is because of Black Cat Radio.
Yeah, episodes.
I watched Live-a-thon last year, but I didn't know Alex Hughes from Adam.
No.
I didn't know the guys on there for Adam. I wouldn't have even known that Justin Lee was on there at the time. And I obviously had communication with Steve Greenall, the money I raised for the captain's charity, £14,000 that we gave to CPSL 9. The thing that was ridiculous about that was that money came from all of the members. The only people that could play golf at St Neots Golf Club that year were members. Yeah. Whereas normally our charity days are from people from outside. Yeah. Yeah. So that came all from the club, and the support I got from the club was huge. Each and every one, everything that would normally be paid for was donated. Yeah. So every penny that was taken, I can't think. There was one thing I think that I gave everybody a memento of a golf ball on the day.
Nice.
And that's the only thing I had to pay for.
It's amazing.
So everything went straight.
But it was reciprocated for your relentless support to anything you're involved in. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and I go full blown, and I dedicated the day to Will.
Yeah.
So that went down well. There was a lot of tears, a lot of big people crying on that day. a lot of big people. But going back to Walk and Talk, so I've done the bit with Steve Greenall. That then linked into the piece he did with you, which linked into Liveathon.
Yeah.
Then this Walk and Talk group came up, and I thought, yeah, okay, I think I want a piece of that. I'd like to go, because I didn't know whether I was coping as well as I was, or whether there was something underlying. So my mate, who I supported and got him into a detail, I said, you need this. Right? Well, he didn't. I did.
Yeah.
And we went. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that have got Lindas today. Right?
Yeah, I love this. I love Linda. I love the Linda stuff.
But Luke and Justin have got Steve. Right? Because I am constantly in their head.
I love it.
Yeah. So, and then
the best possible way, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen, as I said to you, I've seen the way you operate. I've seen, just how you just naturally embed yourself in conversation, embed yourself in situations where you can add value. You see intrinsically where you can add value, and you do it in abundance. And it's honestly, I mean, I haven't got to look at the comments, neither do you. You know what they say. There's so much love for what you do, and it's like, it's for me. 2021 was the year of Steve Whitney. Honestly, I'm in awe of your energy, just your presence. Like, you're just a wonderful man, and your energy you bring to something. Like, you're everyone's dream wingman.
Yeah.
You are
possibly.
You are like the ultimate hype man.
Yeah.
Like, in the best possible. But I know it's channeled, and I know because of conversations we've had. Just shows the power.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows the power that you've come from, and thank you for sharing all of that, because it's, today is as much as about sharing that, but also showcasing the amazing things that come from the adversity.
Absolutely. And Walk and Talk for Men has got to be the St. Neots success story.
Beautiful, man.
Of 2021.
100%.
Without a doubt. From a first walk of Justin turning up, not knowing if anyone was going to turn up.
Yeah.
Right. To 33 guys this week.
That's amazing.
It's absolutely unreal.
It's amazing. And I listen, and I think about, like, when people have been referred from other communities, like, how many times has it been, someone heard Steve or you talking about it on the radio with Steve, or Luke talking about it somewhere over here. And I love, as you know, community is everything to me. CoGrow is about collaborative growth through community. That's embedded in the core values of Shifties. And what that really means is understanding where each community serve each other and how we all fit together.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so important. You see this ecosystem of support. You've heard from half of them today.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing people
Absolutely.
in and around this community. And and knowing, it won't be long before we're in that place, because people like St. Neots Initiative, who like yourself have kindly sponsored today, so important, because it's up to organizations like St. Neots Initiative to let people know when they do land in St. Neots for whatever circumstance, or they've been here, or they've been awakened to what's around here, that there is all of this available to you.
Absolutely.
And if you're not on Facebook, you're not on LinkedIn, or not on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, there's got to be better ways of signposting to it. But naturally, the aura of the community, the energy that you guys are putting out from Walk and Talk is phenomenal. Yeah. It's amazing.
And it's now rolling. Without Walk and Talk, I wouldn't know Justin Lee, I wouldn't know Alex Hughes, and I wouldn't know my little brother, because he's everybody's little brother.
Yeah, he is everyone's little brother. He's an absolute G.
Yeah. Luke is an absolute legend. If we've got anything we need, I've spoke to him today, right, about someone that I've been in contact with today, and the person that knows everything there is to know and where to go is Luke, and he's following me. You want to see his shirt? Right? His shirt's unreal. Right?
Mate, what have you got going on in there?
Lukey, baby, I must have known. Mine's a damn sight better than yours.
I love it. We've got to check out these comments. Look, I mean, dude, I don't. I mean, can you read them? I mean, I love this man. You've done so much for us, Steve. So proud to call Steve Whitney my husband. Richard Bourne legend, Steve. This year is Steve Whitney. In the words of Tony Hadley, he is gold. Leg end. I mean, mate. Yeah, I hope you read that and understand what that means. Like that's you did. You made the right choice, man.
Yeah.
You made the right choice hanging around.
Yeah. Well, all these guys now, they're even Alex Hughes, right, is my will. Right, they're all my will. They're all my folk. And Luke is going to be crying now because every time I say that, he'll be in the green room bawling his eyes out.
He'd have to come and join us. He'll come and join us for a minute.
And but I try to put all those positives that I'm trying to put out there for others. I try to put into my own life. Yeah. Fiona and I, over the last 12 months, have looked at her life. She woke up one Sunday morning. Right? And Fiona's the most positive person in the world. And she was staring at the wardrobe door.
Really?
Yeah, just staring at the wardrobe door. And I looked at her and I just knew, right? There was just no emotion in her face. And that's not my Fiona. Right? So I looked at her and I said, sweetheart, come here. I wrapped my arms around her and she burst into tears. And for those that know Fiona, she don't cry very often. I think in the 18 years we've been together, I've probably seen her cry on less. I couldn't even count it on one hand. And she burst into tears. And she'd been put under so much pressure at work. Through lockdown, they did a complete training session on a new computer system, right, which they had to do virtually, being trained by Germans.
Wow.
Yeah. Not that there's anything against Germans, but there's obviously stuff in the translation, pressing the wrong buttons and stuff like that. She became responsible for everybody's mental health. She became chief personnel officer. She became everything that she was already. And we had a vision that she was going to retire in September 2023. And it turned, we had a pension advisor come in the following week to see me. I said, right, let's talk to him. So we spoke to him. Turns out that she's got enough funds in her pension. Her retirement's been brought forward 2 years. She retires at the end of August.
Oh, well done. That's amazing.
That then changed my outlook because I don't want my wife retired and me not be able to spend time with her.
Yeah.
Right? But how much money do we need to survive? We'd already put in place that we were going to pay off our mortgage and everything else and give ourselves a level playing field to play on. So I've downsized my business.
Yeah, well, I remember we talked about this when we went for a walk.
I've downsized it right down. Next year, my work, or this year, my work will work around my diary, not my diary, my personal diary around my work.
Absolutely.
Right? And
that's the beauty of business in the sense that when you are in control, you can control it. Like it's not all about more. Yeah. It's about living now.
Correct. You've got one life.
Yeah.
Guys, you've got one life. And I urge you to look at your life, look at the stresses in your life, and those you can remove them. You've got three, I see it as I've got 3 grades of stress.
Yeah.
One I don't need and can go now. Right? And if you're living with it every day and you're waking up thinking about it in the morning and you don't need it and you get rid of it, you're the fool. Get rid of it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Go. Then you've got those that you may not be able to get rid of today. Right? It's going to be 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line. Build a plan, get rid. If they're waking you up every night and you're sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about it, you've got to get rid of it. So make a plan to get rid. And then you've got those that are going to be there forever. They're never going to go away.
Yeah.
Right? Never going to go away. And you've got to find a way of coming to terms with those and making them so they're not a stress factor. They're actually something you can live with.
That's great.
Being an Arsenal fan. Yeah, prime example. Right?
Can't get rid of it.
We can't get rid of it. We've got to live with it. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful advice, though. Yeah. I think that's wonderful advice, and people can take something from that.
Absolutely.
Well, look, man. Like I've only got one more question to ask you, and that's what are you most excited about for 2022?
The thing I'm most excited about for 2022 is that on Thursday I have a meeting with a gentleman to start discussing how we build something to bring all of the mental health initiatives under one umbrella.
Brilliant.
I've said for a long time that we've every one of our little initiatives, Walk and Talk for Men, Men to Talk, Andy's Man Club, Jocker, right? Their legs, and these legs have got nobody. Right? So we need to sit down. So on Thursday, I shall be sitting down, and we will put the
funds together.
Not necessarily put the funds together. We'll put the brains together as to how it's going to work, and then we'll probably be coming and banging on Shifty's door.
Yeah,
saying, right, guys, here we go.
I got you back. You know, man. You know whatever you need. You know whatever you need. And you know, Jamie, Danielle, Bridge, and I have talked about this exact challenge before, and I caught up with Steve Greenall the other day about we need to catch up on some of this, because it's not just. Like I was explaining, there are lots of different communities in this space,
and also the other important thing is it's not just men.
Absolutely,
that body has got to be for women.
Absolutely.
Look how many comments we're getting on the Walk and Talk group now. Is there one for women? Is there one for women? Is there one for women?
It bloody should be.
Well,
coming.
Let's make it happen.
Well, look, I can tell you now, man. I'm here. Like wherever you need, we've got your back. Like. Don't worry about that. Shifties is a platform for people like you, and we absolutely love you, man.
Pleasure to be here, mate.
My man.
Absolute pleasure.
Hey, thanks for sharing. It's awesome. Thank you for sharing, man, and for raising all these funds, man. The walking was nuts, wasn't it?
I'm going to go and do my donation now while Luke's on.
Absolute legend. Absolutely, yeah. Well, I got Luke on, and then you're going to come back and join me at 9:30 virtually.
Well, come virtually, or we'll
come in.
If he's coming down the pub with me.
Well, yeah, if he's going to the pub, then maybe Luke stays here, and then I'll come to the pub. Right. Well, look, mate. Honestly, go read the comments, and just share. Yeah, share the love, man. Because honestly, there's so much love for you and what you're doing, man. Like I've got nothing else to say to you. Thanks for listening, folks. And please, thank you. Donate, please. Absolutely. Right, let's get Luke, shall we? Let's see what shirt he's bringing to the table. I'll be back in just a moment.